So Wonder Woman 1984 has finally come out. Yes! Finally! A new movie that has come out in theaters, even though quite a few have come out and I've already seen Tenet. Which, by the way, you guys, if you guys want to see a movie review for Tenet, make sure you guys comment that down below in the comment section. And make sure you guys let me know what you guys thought of the movie before I give my thoughts. Have a nice and live discussion down below. Please try to be nice to each other, and yeah, let's get into it. So first off, I just want to say about this movie is, you gotta go in with an open mind. It actually starts off very campy, but then all of a sudden it gets very serious towards the middle and end section. So there's a lot of campiness to it, a lot of 80s campiness, a lot of colors, a lot of references to clothing and music, but it's not overly focused on those things that it takes you out of the immersion of this Wonder Woman movie. Now, the first one was really good, so this one had a lot to live up to. And do I think it did? In some ways, yes, and in some ways, not so much. This movie is very mixed for me. I've seen a lot of Rotten Tomato reviews and stuff like that, but I went in mostly with an open mind just to get my feelings on this movie. But a lot of them said that this was either a love it or a hate it movie. And I am not in either of those categories, guys. This is definitely a kind of okay film. You can get away with a lot of stuff with this because you know what they're going for. They're going for those 80 movies vibes, and they're trying to have it look like an 80s movie with its shot and directions as well. And it feels very much like an 80s action movie in its action scenes, just, you know, more amped up because, you know, it's more modern day. But still, they're going for that vibe, and I really do appreciate that. Like I said, not overly done to the point where it's distracting, just enough to keep you invested. And yeah, the colors look great, the screens look good, and the story is actually somewhat decent. I mean, it's very compelling with its villains. You understand their motivations. Mostly the character of Cheetah, without getting into spoilers. She is a very good character, and I felt like they handled Cheetah perfectly in this movie. They handled her very well, but the other villain I feel like was very lackluster. He definitely was a good threat for Diana, and you understand his motivations, but then he just becomes the stereotypical villain that's just, you know, hungry for power once it gets to the middle section. And at that point, he just does not become a good villain, and you kind of disconnect from him quite a bit. Meanwhile, with Cheetah, you stay connected with her because you understand her motivations, and they stay the same, except for the fact that she does become unlikable, but you understand why she is the way she is. And like I said, it just does not break you out of the immersion with these characters. Now, having Steve Trevor back, I'm not going to explain how he's back. I might do a spoiler review to explain that. But he's back, and once again, Chris Pratt and Gal Gadot, they have amazing chemistry together. I don't know if this was the direction of the director, I forget who directed this, or I don't know if this was the direction of the actor and actress themselves. But their chemistry is just fantastic. It's just as good as the first movie, although a little bit more romantic since they've already had that romance story, or that built-up romance story. Now it's just full-on romance story with those two. But they pull it off nicely to the point where it's not cheesy. But that's where we're going to get into the biggest problem with this movie is its tone. It doesn't know what it necessarily wants to be. It doesn't know whether it wants to be a campy movie or a serious movie. There's a ton of camp in here, trust me, a lot. but it's definitely not super campy either, which is so weird to say that. And that's really this movie's tone. It's weird. It's cheesy at the beginning, gets super serious, has some cheesy parts, and it gets super serious again. So I'm like, is this supposed to be a campy movie or is it supposed to be a serious movie? Which, if they went for a campy movie, I would have been fine with that. Like, all the way, just all the way camp. I would have been fine with that. If they went for a serious movie, that's fine. That's kind of stereotypical, but that's fine. But they have a mix of both, and it does not mesh very well, you guys. There was moments where I was like, saying to myself, is this supposed to be funny or is this supposed to be serious? Like, I just didn't know what to think of that. Also, characters and the way their story progressed through the movie could have been handled a little bit better. And also, I noticed a lot of similarities to, without spoiling anything, maybe movies like Superman 2 or Spider-Man 2. Very similar in the messages that they're trying to relay. But that's also not a negative, you guys. That's really not. Look at Spider-Man 2, for example. It takes a lot of cues from Superman 2. But they do a good job at doing that and making it its own thing. And this movie very well does that. Now, do I think this one is better than the first one? No. I don't think it's as good as the first one. But it's not a complete letdown either. It's actually a very enjoyable movie. Now, the rating I'm going to give for this one, I'm actually going to give two separate ratings. If you guys are not into, like, comic book movies or, like, haven't been super into DC movies, this is going to be a decent film to a bad film for you guys. But if you guys really do enjoy comic book movies and somewhat enjoy DC's movies, you guys are going to say this is going to be a good, solid film. So, that's my review for Wonder Woman 1984. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Comment if you want me to do a spoiler review. And yeah, more videos coming soon. One of them is going to be a very interesting review. May or may not have to do with Mortal Kombat. But that's beside the point. If you guys liked the video, make sure to subscribe today to join the Isaiahization.